About Business with Angela Freeman is an informative new Saturday morning show that provides information on how to navigate the world of public and private contracting. Step 1, certification. Find out more about it this Saturday, all about business with Angela Freeman right here on 1230 The Source, Saturday morning, 9 a.m., KCOH, The Source.
Whatever you want, whatever you need, anything you want to know about business, I'll find it naturally. 'Cause I'm a connected woman. It's all me. Good morning, KCOH family. Welcome to It's All About Business with Angela Freeman. We're here to bring you resources, tools, and information on how to grow, develop, and take your business to the next level of success. Thank you for joining me this morning. I was very excited to be back. October was a very busy month for me in advocating for diverse businesses to ensure that we continue to stay at the table and have a piece of the pie. I had the opportunity to attend many conferences, meet phenomenal people, and also advocate to our congressional leaders on how important it is to keep minority business engaged in all the opportunities that's available to us. And of course, all this springs back to what happened with the Supreme Court in eliminating affirmative action with universities. But it started there, and now it's starting to trickle down to government entities and as well as corporations on how these programs, supply diversity programs, small business programs, any diverse business programs, how important it is for us to keep these programs alive and valuable to our diverse and small businesses here in Houston. So the fight is not over. We just got a little bit comfortable. And like I like to say is, it's time for our voice to be heard. It's time for us to speak up. It's time for us to come together and stand for what we have the rights to do, is be included in all the business opportunities that are available across the nation. So with that said, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about that, and I just had a great time in October attending the NAACP conference, the National Minority Supply Development Conference. It was just amazing, just meeting people as they was trying to grow their business, build the relationships, listen to sessions about how we need to be more engaged in the changes that are going on. So I don't want to say these programs are coming to a stop, but it's time for change. Things are going to be conducted differently, and you need to be prepared. Whether you're starting your business, you've been in business for a couple of years, or you're a very successful, sustainable business, all of us need to come together and have one voice. So with that said, I'd like to tell you about the next phenomenal guest that we have speaking today. And this guest is going to provide you information about your financials, engaging your finances in your business. Should you be using your cash, taking money out of your own bank account, or should you be applying for credit, which a lot of us say, okay, I don't want to get in debt. So Mr. Ervin Hughes is going to give us a different perspective of that. Ervin Hughes is the Executive VP of Level 3 Corporation, which is a consulting company for small businesses on growing their business. Good morning, Ervin.
Hey, good morning, Angela. Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here and sharing the information that you have. You've been doing this for many years, and I know your name is out there. You're branded for the expertise that you have, and I'm excited to have you on the show and to provide more information to the KCOH family. So I always tell them, sit back, get your cup of coffee, get your pen and paper ready, okay? Or your laptop, hey, this technology, or your phone, whatever you can write on, because you're about to get the best information you can on growing your financials for your business. Isn't it right, Ervin?
That is exactly right. And, I'm always excited to have the opportunity to speak to our audience at KCOH Radio. So I'm really, really happy to be able to, just put some information out there and try to clear some of the air, to your point, change some of those perspectives that some of our people have about how to go about using credit as opposed to cash, because there is a difference. And so I'm hoping that we'll get a chance to dig into some of that and give some takeaways for folks who might be listening today.
Of course we will. And I'd like to ask the audience, please join in on the conversation. Give us a call at 713-668-1230. That's 713-668-1230. Don't be shy about calling in. This is an engaging conversation, and the information is all for you. So, Ervin, please give us a little information about your background.
Yeah, happy to do that. So I'm a former commercial banker, and I've since recovered from that. The last banking job I had was back in 2003, so that'll tell you a bunch. And I left the bank really to start helping small businesses get access to capital and credit. I'm still doing that today. And, a lot of businesses that we've run into, wanted to expand, wanted to grow, but we found that it's really difficult for a lot of small businesses to grow and scale simply because it's very few people out there who will tell you exactly how credit works with regard to business. And so I got into the space, been in the space ever since. We've been blessed to connect with some great business owners here in the city of Houston. We've been working very closely over the years with a lot of our local agencies, really to help teach, train, and provide technical assistance, that's government speak for consulting, to small businesses. So that's pretty much my background.
And Level 3 is a consulting company that offers opportunities for small businesses to consult with you on growing their business, not only in finance, but in other areas. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So our core business with Level 3 Corporation is really training people who want to get into government contracting. And so people who have a business already, but perhaps, there are some of our clients, for example, they've been in business for many years. Many of them have already been successful to some degree in their business, but they may be new to government contracting. And so that's really where we come in to sort of accelerate those opportunities for them to kind of shorten the learning curve, avoid all the landmines that they can get into just by not having somebody to sort of coach them along with regard to basically how to select government opportunities. A lot of times people will select opportunities that don't quite fit their core business, which can cause trouble. And so we take a hard look at those capabilities and so on. And really, our whole goal with Level 3 Corporation is really to help our minority business owners get in position to capture those opportunities.
Okay, so we're going to dive into that a little bit more later, but I want to talk about the core of this conversation, which is how to get your finance ready and growing your business. And why should we, everyone feels safer utilizing their own money and not going into debt with a credit line or in high interest rates. So talk to us about that, Ervin. Our audience we range from startups to very successful businesses, but everybody wants to know how to grow their business and their finances, the do's and don'ts, and get rid of this myth about utilizing credit. So now it's on you. Go ahead.
Angela, I absolutely love the idea of you calling it what it is. It is a myth. And I spend a fair amount of time helping people get what I call credit smart. The first challenge that people have to overcome is a lot of folks in our society have basically taught people to stay away from credit. And that credit is evil, and credit will create you, will put you in debt, and so on and so forth. And I always like to say, credit is kind of like fire. Under control, it can warm your feet, it can cook your food. Out of control, it can burn your house down and kill you. And the challenge with people in credit is they should be apprehensive about how they go about using credit, because credit that's not used properly can absolutely be a problem. And what I found is, after all these many years, this is year 29 for me in this space, and what I've learned, frankly, is that most people have really, really strange ideas about how credit works. And what I mean by that is oftentimes people will try to run their businesses off of cash alone. And because they're trying to avoid using credit, or they're trying to avoid paying interest or fees or whatnot. But oftentimes that is simply not sustainable. And that's where it really gets dangerous. And that's why a lot of small businesses, frankly, don't grow, is because they will hold back on going after opportunities simply because they don't have the money to execute on the opportunity, even if they want it. And so with regard to credit, the biggest mistake people make about credit is they will try to use credit to pay bills, but they won't use credit to make money. And therein lies the trouble. Credit should never be used to pay bills, because a lot of times people get into a crunch, especially when they're young in a startup, and they'll try and leverage credit cards to make up the income shortfall that they have. And a lot of people now, because of wage problems, job problems, things like this, coming out of the pandemic, for example, a lot of people are leveraging what credit they have just to make up the income gap, when the truth is the perspective needs to change so that credit can be used to generate income, because we have to solve the income problem first.
Correct. And you're right. Really understanding how to utilize credit smart could really take you to the next level. But you said something that was very important that stuck out for me, is that utilizing credit to make money.
That's right. That's right.
Tell us some of those strategies. That's what we want to know. How do I make some money?
No, that's exactly right. And frankly, that's what the focus should be. How can I make some money, right? And that's what I meant earlier about we have to solve the income problem. Most people in this country, frankly, don't even know how much money they should be earning. That's the first problem. You have to know how much money you should be earning. Even if you're not earning that, you still have to know what that number is. For example, we use a very simple formula, and that is, for those who might be listening, and if you're a writing person, this is good information for you, is to add up all of your personal monthly living expenses. In other words, how much money does it take per month for your household, your family to work right? And so, for example, if it's $6,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000, whatever that number is. And I'm talking about just your expenses, your house payments, your car payments, your insurance payments. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that, honey, payments, whatever those things are. You add all those things up together, and what you do is you come up with whatever that monthly number is, and then you simply divide, don't multiply, but divide that number by 0.40. And so that's really the first step, is to figure out how much money should I be earning from my business. And so you take your monthly living expenses, you divide by 0.40, it will give you a new number. That's a pretty good estimate of how much money per month your business should be paying you. If you're not able to earn that much money personally from the business, then that means that your business is not performing as well as it could. And that's really where credit comes in. Mm-hmm. When we talk about credit, we're not talking about consumer credit. And I want to be clear about that to our listeners, is that we're really not talking about consumer credit like Visa and MasterCard. We're talking about commercial credit. So when we talk about commercial credit, we're literally talking about credit for the business that is operating separate and apart from you personally. The problem that we run into is a lot of times people in the beginning have to leverage their personal credit to start the business. And that's absolutely true. But you can't stay in that position because if you think about it, as the business grows, growth just costs money. It just does. Mm-hmm. And if you've been leveraging your personal credit, this is why business owners oftentimes have run into credit problems, because it drives down their credit scores. Mm. And so, even if they're successfully paying the bills, now they're so leveraged, even if they're able to make the payments on time and so on, it still keeps their personal credit scores low. This is the reason why the company, whether it's brand new or whether it's old, setting up the company in its own credit, separate and apart from us personally, is really, really important, because it's a process. It's not something you can do in, 2 weeks or 30 days or something like that. It's literally a process that takes, for some people, takes years to do because they are trying to figure out what to do. But we've kind of streamlined that process to help people be able to learn how to do that in a matter of months as opposed to years.
Wow. Well, we have a caller on the line, but before we take this caller, what is that formula again?
Oh, it's your total personal monthly living expenses. This is your personal expenses. And you figure out what that total per month is, and then you divide by 0.40.
Okay, thank you for repeating that, and hopefully you all have the opportunity to write that down, because I know everybody has their pen, their paper, their laptop, their phone, whatever it takes to make notes, and you're prepared. Caller, please state your name and join the conversation. Who are we speaking with this morning? Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great, and yourself. My name is Turnip Seed. Hi, Mr. Erv. Hi, Miss Angela. How y'all doing this morning?
Well, how are you? Good to talk to you.
I'm great. I'm here to get some fuel.
Okay.
I was in Mr. Erv's digital empowerment class, and I must say that I had a wonderful experience. So I couldn't help but to be here this morning, and just to gain more clarity and to keep being good and motivated.
Well, thank you for calling in and joining the conversation. Did you have a question from Mr. Hughes this morning?
I don't right now at the present moment. The only thing I do. I'm sorry. So what I wanted to know, Mr. Erv, so when you're saying about the don't utilize your cash, utilize the credit, which is what you taught us in class, at all costs, at any cost, it's always credit first, no matter what, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. Yes, because I know sometimes the bankers and everybody be like, find family members or anybody else that can give donations or money and things like that. But I'm almost assuming it's probably best to stick with credit.
Yeah, and so no, you're absolutely right. And thank you for the question, because a lot of people never think about once you have a business, and let me be clear about having a business. A lot of people try to operate a company basically under a DBA, and your company structure is really important toward the building of business credit. You really have to have a registered business. Registered meaning that you have a limited liability corporation, company, a LLC, or you're registered at least as a corporation or some other registered entity that is separate and apart from you. You have to literally, you really can't build company credit without having a separate registered legal entity separate and apart from you. Because when you're operating simply under a DBA or an assumed name, it's still you personally just operating under a business name. It doesn't create a separate legal entity. And so, no, you're absolutely right. Once you have a separate legal entity, whether it's an LLC or a corporation or a limited partnership or however you formed it, now that you have a registered business, that business now will have what many know as an EIN number, and then that's the number that you would use to start building the company's credit separate and apart from you, so that you're not using your personal Social Security number as a credit identifier.
Thank you, caller, for calling in. We have another caller on the line. Please state your name and your question. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Angela. This is Evelyn Fletcher with Electronic Assembly Services. Angela, thank you for all the resources you've been doing for Angela, the business.
Thank you for your support.
I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss that every Saturday, because every time you come up with something, it helps my company, Electronic Assembly Service. But I have a question, and also to Mr. Hughes, thank you for being there, because you did open my eyes on something when you just said. First of all, I am a C Corp, and I've been like that for many years, sir. My question in the reference to the construction type of business, we're trying to do the EV charging stations. As far as trying to get grants or money to expand our company related to the EV charging station, which construction, which consists of 5 different types of components, which would be building the EV charging stations and doing the infrastructure of the electrical wire in the ground, and then upgrading the grid, plus the installation and the warranty and the maintenance. So all of that takes an effect, and that's something that I need to get involved with, where I can get enough money to make sure that happens. And what does it take for the construction part of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So my question to you is, first of all, congratulations for getting in the space.
Yes.
That is, as you know, a very lucrative and very fast-growing industry space, and
Absolutely.
So congratulations for you on that.
Thank you.
Secondly, my question is, are you manufacturing the EV stations? Or
Yes. We could go either way. Manufacture. Basically, I want to manufacture them, right? Build and put them together, because we do a lot for the oil and gas industry in Centerpoint.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that you want to manufacture. So 2 things. So first of all, I think you're absolutely right to go after whatever the grant opportunities might be for that space, since it is something that points to the clean energy effort, right?
That's correct.
And then secondly, with regard to getting funding so that you can manufacture those, this is really where I think credit, getting your company set up, since you've been in business many years, getting your company set up with the kinds of credit facilities that you need. And this is for manufacturing. So what happens with manufacturing is, of course, as you know, you have to buy your components, right?
Absolutely.
And when you're buying your components, you have to be able to get credit established with your suppliers, because if not, they will try and force you to pay for your components with cash up front. And to your point, this is really not sustainable, because if you're you'll be very limited to what you can buy on cash, and then in your business, because you're in construction or you're in construction services, that means that now you would be selling your manufactured products. Most of your customers would require you to invoice them after you deliver the product.
Right, and that's what I'm doing now. That I do the turnkey, sir, and they
Right.
give me net 30.
Yes.
That my vendors.
Right, and this is what I'm getting at. So I'm glad you brought this up, because this is great for everybody to hear. If you are, and this is something, guys, if you're writing, this is great to write down. If you're selling on credit, and what I mean by selling on credit, that means you have to deliver your product or service and then invoice your customer, and then give your customer some period of time to pay the invoice. That
right.
makes you a creditor, okay?
Yeah.
Because you're extending credit to your customers right then. But that also means if you're selling on credit, that means you're invoicing customers. That means you have to buy on credit. The problem with the model is a lot of business owners get forced into having to pay cash up front for their materials and supplies, and then sell on credit. Well, this is not sustainable, because that means if the business grows, you will run out of cash very quickly. And this is why I say people who are trying to run their business solely off cash generally won't grow, is because now you have to limit, as the business owner, you have to limit how much you sell, because you can only buy so much on cash. The problem with cash and running a business off cash, now don't get me wrong, cash is king if you're buying groceries and tires, but cash is not king when you're running a company, because cash does not revolve. It does not renew. Once it's gone, it's gone. Credit, on the other hand, you use, you make money with it, you pay the credit back, and you use it again. And so in your model, you would need to work to make sure that you set your company up so that you can start applying for credit with your suppliers. And let me be clear, all you need is net 30 terms. Some of your suppliers might even give you 60-day terms, but you really have to reposition yourself so that these suppliers aren't trying to force you to pay cash or make cash deposits up front to ship your materials so that you can manufacture your product.
Well, most of my vendors, they're net 30. They're real good about that, and I've been doing business almost 30-something years, sir, with Centerpoint and the oil and gas industry, like GE and NOV and all those companies. But I appreciate the info. Thank you so much,
Thank
Angela.
you for calling in, Evelyn. We appreciate
You're welcome.
it. We have another caller, and then we will need to take a break. Hello, caller. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Can
you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing this morning?
Hi, this is Octavia Teehart. I'm calling from St. Petersburg, Florida. First of all, I'd like to give a shout-out to my cousin, Dundee Davis, for introducing me to this opportunity. And I'd like to say good morning to Miss Angela and Mr. Ervin.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in from Florida.
Yes, good morning.
This has been phenomenal. Well, first I'd like to ask the question, what do you think, Mr. Ervin, are the first steps to becoming non-dependent on your personal credit score and getting to where you're dependent on your business credit score?
Yeah, step one is to make sure that your business is a separate entity from you. That means a corporation or an LLC. That is step one, act one, scene one. You got to do that so that you create the separation already from yourself personally.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You guys have
Ervin,
a fabulous day.
You too have a great weekend, and we look forward to hearing from you again. Ervin, as you can tell, this is a very hot topic. Hot topic, because it's all about money. All about money. Today's show has changed from all about business to all about money. And I truly appreciate the engagement because, as I say, this show is all about you and growing your business. At this moment, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with you. Again, the dial-in number is 713-668-1230.
A-Rocket Moving and Storage has been moving Houston and surrounding areas for more than 60 years. Professional movers to help with all of your moving needs, commercial and residential. A-Rocket Moving and Storage. Call 713-748-6024. You need help with packing and unpacking? They can do that as well. How about a place to store? Secure short and long-term storage solutions are available for individuals and organizations. Take it from me, Don Sam. When you're ready to move, do as I did. Call the professionals at A-Rocket Moving and Storage, 713-748-6024. 713-748-6024. Make your next move an A-Rocket move.
You need a truck? Come get your perfect Ram truck at Gulfgate Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram. Whether you prefer having the full-size performance from a Ram 1500 or need a bit more robust power to make sure you can handle those heavy loads at the work site from a Ram heavy-duty truck, then Ram Power Days offer truck buyers exactly the right kind of deal you're looking for. Want more excitement while driving? Then come in and test drive the entire Jeep lineup and rediscover its advanced engines, technology, and unmatched off-road capabilities during our Jeep Adventure Days. Don't miss out on the opportunity to own your Dodge Chrysler Jeep or Ram and receive low rates, special bonus cash offers, and easy financing at Gulfgate Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram when you see Guinevere at 7250 Gulf Freeway. Call me at 281-477-6767 or go to our website and scroll down to Guinevere's Corner, always online 24/7 at GulfgateDodge.com.
Are you or a loved one in need of quality health care that comes to your doorstep? Look no further. Introducing the plan that is your path to exceptional home health care. Imagine a world where health care revolves around you, where practitioners come to you when you need them most. Call Jerome Tucker Agency, 832-491-9030. Our comprehensive Medicare plan offers a range of services tailored to your unique needs. The care coordination team of nurses can come to your home or facility if you qualify for help with activities of daily living. This is more than a plan. It's a promise to enhance your quality of life and to ensure you receive the care you deserve. Don't wait. Call Jerome Tucker Agency today at 832-491-9030 to speak with a licensed agent, not affiliated with the U.S. government or federal Medicare program. This is a solicitation for insurance. We do not offer every plan available in your area. Currently, we represent 59 products in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov, 1-800-MEDICARE, or your local state health insurance program to get information on all your options.
One bad son of a minister.
Back up the train.
One bad son of a minister.
That's the way I feel about it.
His roots were in gospel.
I know that everything is gonna be alright.
But R&B took him to the mountaintop.
To know that I'm still shut up in love with you. Yeah.
His roots were in gospel.
Everybody say, amen.
But R&B took him to the mountaintop.
Oh, the woman got to have it. You gotta give it to her.
The Reverend. The preacher.
She didn't trust me so much.
It's Al Green.
Oh, baby. Let's stick together.
And Bobby Womack.
If you think you own it now, wait until tonight.
The Showdown. Friday afternoon, November 10th at 3 on 1230 The Source. We entertain and inform. 1230 The Source.
Good morning. Good morning, KCOH family. Welcome back to It's All About Business with Angela Freeman. Your tools, resources, information, all about how to grow your business. And this morning, our guest is Mr. Ervin Hughes. And Ervin is giving us a great education about how to utilize finance to grow your business. Utilizing that dangerous word we like to say, credit, but it's not so dangerous. And that's what Ervin is educating us about. Business credit is the right way of growing your business. Separating your personal credit from your business credit is so important. Ervin, thank you for joining us again. And thank the callers for calling in with great questions and you providing wonderful resources. But, everybody want to know, do this really work? What you're saying, does it work, or is this a sales pitch? So, tell us about some of the success that you have had in utilizing your methodology.
Absolutely, happy to do that. So for example, I'll just use certainly one of my own companies. Because I think, to your point, it would demonstrate literally how it works and how well it works. Okay, so it took about I started one of my companies, basically just a small supply company, and what I did was I started to, and the key word there was supply company, because what I wanted to do is I did some homework up front to see what kinds of products and services that government agencies purchase. Remember, our core business has to do with government contracting. And so I set up the company as a startup to start selling commercial products to government agencies. In doing that, though, I had to be able to find suppliers that would, because I'm not a manufacturer, I don't warehouse, I don't have trucks and all this. I wanted to find suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, or wholesalers in the supply chain who would basically sell products to me and then ship those products directly to my government agency customers. People are familiar with this. It's called drop shipping. And so what I realized was that all of these suppliers wanted me to basically prepay them up front or pay them with a credit card. And I was unwilling to do that because I recognized that, personal credit cards have limits on them. Mm-hmm. And then you're creating debt, right, when you do that. So what I did was I literally set up the brand new company and started to apply for credit with suppliers, not banks, not credit unions, but suppliers, to simply get 30-day credit terms that would report to the business credit reporting agencies. This is Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, Equifax, Small Business, and so on. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to, over about a 9-month period, this is what I was getting at earlier about this is a process. So from the time I started the company, I started building the company's credit is the point. 9 months later, right now that company has just under $100,000 in business credit. Now, that means business credit means 30, 45, or 60-day terms. In other words, I can make purchases of these products, have 30 days or 45 days, in some cases 60 days, to actually pay the invoice from my suppliers. So I'm not having to pay out of pocket. And more importantly, business terms like this are generally at 0% interest because whatever you purchase, you pay for it in full in 30 days. So now what that does is that gives me the opportunity to buy products, have it shipped, delivered, and then invoice my government agency customers. When I invoice my government agency customers, it creates something called an accounts receivable. Well, then I can take the accounts receivable and convert that to cash literally within 48 hours of my invoicing. What that does is now it creates a cash flow revolution, or what we call a turn. And so in my case, with $100,000 in business credit, I can turn that every month. Well, if I can turn $100,000 every month for 12 months, that's $1.2 million in credit that I've used to earn money with. Not to pay bills, but to earn money, because I'm only using the credit to purchase what I've already sold. And that's what I was getting at earlier, is that people have to learn how credit really works so that they're not afraid of it, and to understand that there is a giant difference in what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about consumer credit. I'm talking about commercial or business credit. And credit needs to be used to make money, because for every $100,000 that I can turn, if I'm able to have a profit margin of roughly 30%, which varies sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's 30, sometimes it's 20. But on average, if I'm able to generate a gross profit of 30% off of every $100,000 that I turn, in other words, I buy $100,000 worth of products on credit, I sell it for $130,000. That means that when my invoices pay, I'm getting $130,000. I pay back my suppliers, and I do that quickly. And then I put $30,000 in my pocket, and then I rinse and repeat. So again, this is not rocket science. This is kind of what I was getting at. In fact, I even teach a class that takes an hour to teach somebody how to set their business up to do this. And I basically do that for free, just because I really want people to be educated about how this really works. Because so many people have been sprinkled with all kinds of messaging that comes.
Yes.
I was trying to find the right word there, Angela.
Let's say the myth.
Yeah.
The myth.
About how this works. And the truth is, this has nothing to do with your personal credit. Like
That's the best part of it. Yes.
You can get net credit terms. Some of my clients, I'm getting ready to do help one of my clients. He's in the medical supply business, and this guy's got like a credit score in the 500s. Well, he got there. He started out with his credit score in the low 800s.
Yeah.
But after 2 years of using his personal credit, now he's down in the 500s.
That's like you said, it is not rocket science, but it is the best kept secret in our community.
Absolutely. If you think about, and I love what you just said, because if you think about in our community, generally the messaging or the myth is, whatever you do, stay away from credit, cut up your credit cards, live on beans and weenies, cash only, all this type of stuff. Yeah. And the truth is, Angela, the entire planet runs on credit.
Yes.
And credit is not new. In Bible days, people were agrarian, and the truth is, if you needed a plowshare and shoes for your oxen or your mules, you would go to the blacksmith. The blacksmith would give you your plowshares. He would give you your shoes for your animals. And guess what? He was expecting to be paid when your crops came in and you went to market 90 days later, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That was a credit transaction.
Well, like I said, this topic is hot, hot, hot. We have 2 callers on the line. We'll take the first caller. Please, caller, tell us your name, your company name, and why are you calling All About Business with Angela Freeman this morning?
Hi, good morning. This is Marquita Harris. I am the owner of Phoenix Global Group, and I am a current mentee of Mr. Ervin Hughes. How you doing this morning, Angela and Irv?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing great. Thank you for calling in.
How you doing, Miss
Awesome,
Marquita?
awesome. Hey. So my question that I would like to ask for some of the listening audience is, well, Irv, everything that you and Angela are talking about sounds wonderful. It sounds great. We appreciate the fact that you guys are for the culture. But what do we do if we're just getting started? Where should we start? How do we go about doing this? Because this process really sounds confusing. Can you help us out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and thank you for the question. So if you're a writing person and you're just getting started, step 1 is to do some homework. And doing homework means that you want to first identify who do you want to offer your products and services to. And I would just give you a hint that it needs to be either businesses like large corporations or government agencies. Why? Because these folks have the money, the means, and the desire to pay you when you invoice them. What you really have to do is make sure you start there. Who are going to be your targeted customers? And then number 2, if you're brand new and you haven't started yet, you want to make sure that you think about what products and services that are related to whatever your experience is. For example, if you've been in the janitorial service business, well, you might think about not only offering your janitorial services, but you are already familiar with what kinds of janitorial supplies you can provide. So there are opportunities to just sell just the supplies without the service. What I'm getting at is, in whatever your experience is, you could sell both. And so you have to make sure that you know where you're headed with regard to what types of customers you're going to target. And I'm simply recommending that if you're just getting started, make sure that it's business to business, or at least business to government. Secondly...
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem. Step 2, you want to make sure you get incorporated or file an LLC so that you can separate yourself separate and apart from the business, because those are really the first 2 steps to do before you get registered and before you go for certification. Those are things that you do down the road, but just getting started, you got to decide what customers you're going to target.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, no problem. And I just want to say thank you to you both for being willing to not only get the information and give it to us and allow us to know the right way to do it, and not being stingy with what we need to know, but you really want to see us win. So I just want to tell you thank you so much.
You are more than welcome. That's the reason we are here. Thank you for calling.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
We have another caller on the line. Caller, please tell us your name, your company name, and why you're calling in today at All About Business with Angela Freeman.
Good morning. It's Marilyn Harris with Women Veterans Business Center. How are you both?
Doing great. Good morning, Marilyn.
Yes.
Marilyn, good morning.
Hi, Irv. Good morning. I've been listening to this morning's wonderfully valuable conversation. And, as you both know, for the last 13 years, I've been working across the country helping to grow the amount of women, veteran, and military family-owned businesses. Something unique that's happening in Texas now, and there seems to be an insurgence of veteran-owned businesses in this state, which is excellent. But through the Texas Veterans Commission, some eligible veterans can get a LLC and not have to pay the $300 it's taken care of. So what I'm interested in is partnering with you both and holding a presentation on how to do exactly what you've been talking about today with these veterans that are starting up their companies and have aspirations to sell products. I know you've been doing some wonderful work over the years, Irv. I've benefited from attending your programs, and Angela, you're just like a legend. And so let me know your thoughts on that. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you, Marilyn, for calling in, and we will be happy to partner with you in educating the veteran community and diverse business community on the development and growth of their company. So, Irv, how you feel about that?
Well, I will tell you right now, anything Marilyn is doing, I'm in. So I second
that.
Yeah,
you have to be in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion, right? With the body of work that Marilyn has put in this, frankly, in this country, and certainly she's a decorated veteran in the space herself,
yes.
And with all the work that she's done, where she's been recognized in the highest levels of our government for her body of work. So, yeah, I'm absolutely in. If we can pull something together with Marilyn, I would say, yes, let's do that.
So, Marilyn, we'll be talking to you soon on how to coordinate that and find the best date and time to make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn, for calling in this morning. This is really, like I said, a hot topic. But your focus in Level 3 Corporation is with the government entity. Why not the private entity?
Yeah, so I don't want to, I would say, yes, our focus is government. There are some private entities that certainly could, with some of the diversity, equity, and inclusion that the corporates have, some of those programs, we can certainly augment those. And especially now with some of the upheaval that is happening with affirmative action and so on,
yes.
Is really important. And what I was getting at is the reason why we focused on government primarily is because there are still, even without affirmative action or whatever that's going to look like going forward, there is still political drivers out there in the public sector.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, whoever is running for public office, they want to make sure that they position themselves as an advocate for small business. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. You can really a politician can really hobble themselves if they get to a place where they're found to be not an advocate for small business and business growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so even with the watering down of affirmative action, we still don't know what that's going to look like going forward, but it doesn't stop us from, to your point, making our voices heard and making sure that better than that we position ourselves that no matter what the play is on that side, we're still in position to be able to capitalize and capture the spending that's going on out there right in front of us.
And this is true. This is so right that our voice must be heard at this time. But the affirmative action, the action behind that is also affecting the Small Business Administration, the SBA, the AA program, and some of the other public programs. So we have to come together to continue to educate ourselves about business, how to do smart business, and how to grow our business and have a voice in all of this. Like I said, I don't think it's going away, as you stated, but it has to be done differently.
It has to be done differently. And, part of and I would invite everybody to go out, do the research on the legislation that's going on out there with regard to affirmative action. But at the very crux of it, really what it means is that, they've started down this path about affirmative action, essentially saying that because of somebody's minority status, whatever that might be, that there cannot be an assumption of a disadvantage.
Correct.
That's literally the way it's written. And the truth is that there is a disadvantage. There's always been a disadvantage because there is an education gap. It's not that it's an opportunity gap necessarily, but there's an education gap. And what I mean by that is that small businesses, minority, women, veteran-owned businesses are, in fact, generally treated or approached differently. Hence the reason why we have to be certified where others do not.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can't act as if there is no gap, because there is.
Yes.
And so no matter what the legislation says, it's still incumbent upon us to position ourselves to be able to effectively compete in whatever that space is.
Correct.
Having said that, this is why the private sector is also, I think this is going to lead us more and more to the private sector, because the private sector is not going to be hampered by any of this. Mm-hmm. And to your point, I really think this is where certifications like an HMSDC, so that you can be positioned and certified to be able to sell into the private sector as well. I think that our folks need to be positioned to do both. But I think more and more, if you're able to service a public entity, you can certainly service a private entity. I'll leave it there.
Yes, because it's all business.
Correct.
It is all business. And although we have these challenges, like I say, it just means that we have to do things differently, and we have to educate ourselves more on how to do smart business. The diversity status does not guarantee you business. It's the quality, the capability, and the capacity of your business that gets you business. And so, and we do have data out there that displays the disparity and the reason why these programs are so important. But it's also very important for us to be recognized as quality businesses that can still do business. Bottom line is business.
At the end of the day, it's business.
It is business, yes. So,
one of the things I wanted to ask, if it's okay, some people would really like to take a deep dive into this. Obviously, we don't have the opportunity to actually do the training, but as I mentioned earlier, I do this training for free. And so I'm going to do one of these Credit Smart trainings here before Thanksgiving. So we haven't scheduled the date yet, but we do have our wait list open. So if somebody wants to get on our list, just saying that they're interested in taking the free training, the training takes about an hour. We do it online, so it's real simple for people to just join in. They can literally go to our website if that's okay.
Yes, please. What is that site again, please?
Okay, it's www.level, Level, the number 3, B as in boy, C as in Charlie.com. So level3bc.com. And there is a button on our website that just says Get Credit Smart. And you can click on that and get on our wait list, and then we'll send you a notification when the class gets scheduled. So everybody's welcome to do that, whether you're a startup brand new or whether you've been in business 20 years. I think we can take a deeper dive into that when we actually go into the training. We'll provide you with some digital materials that gives you kind of some step-by-step instructions that will allow you to take a look at your business and then how you can leverage that information to position yourself.
And if anyone has additional questions for you, Ervin, how do they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. They can just give me a call directly. My direct phone is 832-777-3766.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Ervin, and providing us with this valuable information. We greatly appreciate it here at KCOA Station as we continue to educate our diverse businesses on how to grow their business. So thank you all for joining us today. Again, it's been a wonderful show with a great guest. Join us again on the 18th, November the 18th, right here at 9 o'clock. It's all about business with Angela Freeman.
It's everybody's wake up call time. I can't sleep too long. Why they do the people wrong? Let's clean the world up before they sweep you gone. This is real talk, you can peek through songs. So when you feel weak, these words will keep you strong and help make a change for the better. It's hard for one to do it, but we can make some changes together.
Hello, this is Fred Hoyer coming to you for Bayshore Chrysler Jeep Dodge